All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sports Dom coming back with another video. We went into Maryland as big, huge underdogs. We come out of Maryland 2-0, victorious. Jonathan Smith gets his first Big Ten win as the head coach of the Michigan State Spartans. So, congratulations to Jonathan Smith on getting his first Big Ten victory as head coach of the Michigan State Spartans. 27-24, the Michigan State Spartans defeat the Maryland Terrapins in Maryland. The Spartans led 17-14 at halftime. It was a back and forth game. Rushing, Nathan Carter had 11 carries, 59 yards. K'Ron Lynch-Adams, 10 carries, 46 yards. Jerron Glover, 1 carry, 14 yards. Aiden Childs, 8 carries, 11 yards. Total 30 carries, 130 yards on the ground for Michigan State. Aiden Childs, our 18-year-old quarterback, led a game-winning drive that led to the game-winning field goal for the Michigan State Spartans. Aiden Childs was 24 of 39 for 363 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. One was in the end zone that would have gave the Spartans the lead. They came out right out of halftime, took the opening kickoff, marched it down the field, and then Aiden Childs threw an interception in the end zone. And then one was kind of like deflected and it went up in the air, and Maryland caught it. But the defense, that Michigan State defense, man, they're for real. That Michigan State Spartans defense is for real. I'll tell you that. According to the point spread and stuff, Michigan State Spartans should have never been in this game. This game should have never been close. With all the turnover that we have and 61 new players, a new head coach, a new coaching staff, new quarterback. Of course, he's 18 years old. But today, he was resilient, and he got the win for the Michigan State Spartans. Like I said, Aiden Childs, 24 of 39 for 363 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's got to cut the interceptions out, but other than that, I liked his game today. Receiving, Jerron Glover, 6 receptions, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Antonio Gates Jr., 1 reception, 7 yards. Montori Foster Jr., 6 receptions, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Jack Velling, 3 receptions, 25 yards. And then Nick Marsh, who had 8 receptions for 194 yards, 1 touchdown. He almost had 200 yards of receiving than Nick Marsh. He was six more yards, and he would add 200 yards receiving. 8 receptions, 194 yards, and a touchdown for Nick Marsh. So they had 24 receptions, 363 yards, and 3 touchdowns did the Michigan State offense. Punting, Ryan Eckley had 3 punts for 154 yards. His average was 51.33. His long was 61. No punt returns for Michigan State. Kick returns, Isaiah Johnson, 2 returns, 32 yards. His average was 16, and his long was 16. Defense, Ryan Eckley, no tackles. Tynell Hopper, no. Chris Bogle had 4 tackles, 3 assists, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Daquan Deuce, 5 tackles, 4 assists, 1 tackle for loss. Oh, Chris Bogle also had a sack. He had 4 tackles, 3 solo, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for loss. Jonathan Turner had 7 tackles, 4 assists, 2 tackles for loss. Angelo Gross, 5 tackles, 1 assist, a half a tackle for loss. Cale Holliday, 6 tackles, 3 assists. Darius Snow, 3 tackles, 1 assist. Ed Woods, 4 tackles, 3 assists. Luke Newman, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Jalen Satchel, 3 tackles, 2 assists, and a tackle for loss. Braden Baldwin, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Charles Brantley, 4 tackles, 3 assists. 1 tackle for loss and 1 interception. I like what I saw out of this defense. Anthony Jones, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Aid Willie, 3 tackles, 3 assists. Malik Spencer, 5 tackles, 3 assists. Nikai Martinez, 4 tackles, 2 assists. Ken Talley, 3 tackles, 1 assist, and a half a sack. Jordan Hall, 3 tackles, 2 assists. Chance Rucker, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Jalen Thompson, 1 tackle. Mekhi Frazier, 1 tackle, 1 assist. And the Michigan State Spartans had 71 tackles, 43 solo, 1 sack, and 7 tackles for loss and 1 interception. So, what a back and forth game that was. What a game indeed. The first Big Ten matchup for any Big Ten team. Any Big Ten teams in the Michigan State Spartans on the road in Maryland come out on top 27-24, 2-0, 1-0 in the Big Ten. And this was a heck of a game. We were huge underdogs, and the Michigan State Spartans, they dig down deep, they find a way, and they come out with a 27-24 win. Rushing for Maryland, Ty Felton, one carry for 4 yards. Roman Hemby, 12 carries, 35 yards. Nolan Ray, 8 carries, 20 yards. Colby McDonald, 3 carries, 15 yards. Billy Edwards Jr., 6 tackles, 13 yards, and a touchdown. Caden Prather, 1 carry for -1 yards. So Maryland had 31 carries for 86 yards and a touchdown. Billy Edwards Jr. passing was 26 of 34 for 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Receiving, Nolan Ray, 2 receptions, 7 yards. Colby McDonald, 1 reception, 6 yards. Dylan Wade, 4 receptions, 49 yards, and a touchdown. Caden Prather, 5 receptions, 38 yards. Shalik Knotts, 1 reception, 2 yards. Ty Felton, 11 carries, 152 yards, and a touchdown. Octavian Smith Jr., 1 reception, 10 yards, and Roman Hemby, 1 return for 1 yard. So Ty Felton was their main receiver. He had 11 receptions, 152 yards, and a touchdown. So in total receiving, the Maryland Terrapins had 26 receptions, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. Punting, Bryce McPherson had 4 punts for 194 yards. He averaged 48.5. His long was 63. Kick returns, Braden Wysleski, 1 return for 10 yards. Defense, Quishon Fuller, 3 tackles, 3 solo. Ruben Hypolit, 2 the second. 8 tackles, 2 solo, and a half a tackle for loss. Glendon Miller, 7 tackles, 3 solo, a half a tackle for loss, and 2 interceptions. Tyze Johnson, 1 tackle, 1 solo, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for loss. Tommy Ekingbissote, 3 tackles, 2 solo. Dante Trader Jr., 3 tackles, 1 solo. Jalen Husky, 7 tackles, 4 solo, and 1 interception. Jordan Phillips, 3 tackles, 2 solo. Daniel Owens, 1 tackle, and a half a tackle for loss. Levain Scruggs, 1 tackle, 1 solo. Octavian Smith Jr., 1 tackle, one solo. Caleb Wheatland had 5 tackles, 2 solo, 1 sack, and 1.5 tackles for loss. Lionel Whitaker, 2 tackles, 1 solo, and a half tackle for loss. Kellen Wyatt, 5 tackles, 2 solo, and 1.5 tackles for loss. Daniel Wingate, 1 tackle. Michael Harris, 2 tackles, 2 solo. Dylan Fontes, 1 tackle. Kevin Humes, 3 tackles, 3 solo. Brandon Jacob, 2 tackles, 1 solo. So in total on the defense, the Maryland Terrapins had 65 tackles, 37 solo, 2 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. So 4 total turnovers for the Michigan State Spartans, and they dug down deep. They still found a way. Aiden Childs fumbled the ball and threw 3 interceptions, but what a win. And Jonathan Smith gets his first Big Ten win of the 2024 season. So the Michigan State Spartans are 2-0. They beat the Florida Atlantic Owls last week in week 1, 16-10. The Spartans were at home. This week, we went on the road to a tough environment. Big underdog, double-digit underdogs. And we come out on top, 27-24 over the Maryland Terrapins. Aiden Childs. Today, I have to give him the game ball, and I have to give the defense a game ball as well. So I'm giving out 2 game balls today. The defense and Aiden Childs, 18 years old, threw 3 interceptions, was able to keep calm, and he kept going like this every time, he threw the ball or they picked up a first down. He would tell himself, calm down, But penalties, they had like 9 penalties for close to 200 yards. I think it was like 150-something yards in penalties. They got to stop that. Jonathan Smith has to fix that. But we're 2-0, sitting on top, sitting atop the Big Ten, with, of course, Ohio State, and Penn State in them. But we get a tough victory in Maryland, 27-24. I like it. I like what I saw. Man, that defense is going to keep us in a lot of games. Oh, and I also have to give a game ball to the hero in this game, Jonathan Kim, who kicked the game-winning field goal with 1 second left on the clock, and the Michigan State Spartans leave Maryland, like I said, victorious. 2-0, 1-0 in Big Ten. Now they go home to take on the Prairie View A&M Panthers. I don't know much about them. They're in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. They're 0-1. I don't know how they did today, if they won or lost. But we come home to play the Prairie View A&M Panthers. That should be a win, but, we've seen some upsets today that shouldn't have been upset. So you can't underestimate a team. But I'm looking to go 3-0 next week before going to BC, Boston College, to take on the Boston College Eagles. That should be a good game. But if we could beat Maryland, we could beat Boston College. Okay? And then we get Ohio State in our building at Spartan Stadium. That's going to be rough. That one's going to be rough. But hopefully we could be 3-1 before we play them. I'm hoping 4-0, but, one game at a time. Good Good game, Michigan State Spartans. Good game, Aiden Childs. He threw for 363 yards, 3 touchdowns. Of course, he threw 3 interceptions, but, you know, he's 18 years old. He's learning. He's learning. But good win, Jonathan Smith. I said in my preview video that he would have them ready, and they wanted revenge from that 31-9 shellacking Maryland gave us last year. But guys, comment in the comment section below on what you think. And as always, if you like my videos, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss a video. This is Sports Dom. Peace. Go Spartans. And let's beat the Prairie View A&M Panthers next Saturday at home at Spartan Stadium. Guys, stay tuned for my Arizona Cardinals at Buffalo Bills Week 1 preview. And as always, go Spartans. Beat the Panthers next week.